During this video, I'm going to share the major 3 insights I gained from facilitating a meditation and mindfulness workshop recently at my college. And the first thing that I did after I finished it, I was like, I wish I had recorded that. You should have recorded it, Liam. Why didn't you record it? And because I got so caught up within it, I just forgot to record it. And then I started shooting on myself. And then I realized, noticed it, and I was like, I've just held a workshop on self-compassion. Like, give yourself a break, dude. So that is why I missed last week's video. It's not an excuse, it's just what happened. So during this video, I'm going to share like the major 3 things I gained from it, and it honestly, like, some of the responses just blew my mind, or just confirmed certain things, or validated certain things, and challenged certain assumptions I had around mindfulness and meditation. So firstly, there was this idea that I proposed that I don't remember where I heard it, but it's like, celebrate your distraction. Celebrate when you notice you're distracted. As one thing that you'll find is, if you start meditating or trying to focus on your breath or focus on certain aspects and trying to tame the monkey mind, the incessant mind chatter, is how quickly you get distracted. I still get so distracted, and sometimes even if you've been meditating for a while or practicing it, you can be like, I haven't learned anything, my mind still wanders crazy. But the thing is when you notice the distraction, that is actually when you're present. So every time you notice a distraction, you're actually realizing or bringing yourself back to the present moment within what you're doing. So instead of going, because what you do is, if you attack yourself for being distracted, then you're being distracted by attacking yourself. So the only antidote is to like observe it, notice the distraction, and then sweep your attention back. And people in the class really, I guess, got that point, and there was a big that's true, when that was explained. And I just thought for myself, like, how many times I've gone, Liam, you're distracted, this isn't working. And then once you notice that distraction and bring yourself back, even though I'm repeating myself a bit here, I think it's really critical, especially at the start, is that celebrating your distractions, or when you notice your distraction, because then you're present. The second point was, try a wide variety of meditation and mindfulness techniques. That's what we did during the workshop. We shared, like, me and Steve, the one social worker who'd worked within mental health for adolescents and stuff like this, shared a wide variety, and we probably shared about 10 or 12 and took people through all of them, and they can experience all of them. And one thing I noticed is, at the end, after you asked everyone which one was their favorite, everyone had a different one. And I don't know if that was just because people didn't want to copy each other, but there were a few crossovers, but everyone had one that they really liked and one that they really didn't like, but that was tough, and then one. And it was just interesting to see how such a variety helped people resonate with one or the other. As I described it like a meditation buffet. Like, we don't just have one food. So why should we just have one meditation practice or one meditation technique, as there's so many to choose from? And maybe this is slightly overwhelming, but you can mix and match and experiment with one for a while and then change. So that would be my major recommendation, is if one doesn't work for you, that maybe isn't your one, you know? And keep testing, trying, if you're really interested in this space, because there's so many benefits behind meditation. Okay. The third point is going to be filmed in the car, because it was really rainy and windy outside, and was slightly frustrating me that each time I took my camera out, the rain and the wind would pour down. So here we go. It's actually a good segue to self-compassion and self-love, which was the third point, and that no one felt like they were good at it. And it was interesting because I asked the whole group to put up their hand if they've ever felt, after they've had a conversation with a friend and they felt like they've helped that friend out, they've been compassionate, empathetic, whatever it was, and everyone raised their hand because everyone had had that moment. And then I asked them, how often do you guys extend that to yourself, and who feels like they're good at extending that to their self, i.e. being self-compassionate or self-loving when they're going through a tough time? And no one put up their hand, which at first I felt like really sad, because I feel that, and it was like, but then there came a sense of belonging as everyone was going through it. And It's interesting, at school we often taught physics, science, maths, all of these different skills, which is great. There is nothing wrong with that. But when are we ever taught to be self-compassionate or kinder to ourselves in those situations? As even if that sounds slightly cliche or weak or soft in what you're doing, it's actually the strongest thing, because that's what keeps people going, keeps people motivated. Is that element of self-compassion is so key for resilience within what we're going through. And another way of thinking about it is, I asked the group, I was like, who feels when they're having a good day, they're happy, they feel like they've done something good, like they've got more positive self-talk in their mind, what's going on? Who feels like they're better at helping people on those days or being more uplifting? And everyone put up their hand, you know? And then why do we view, like so many people view it, I've viewed it, is that self-criticism as like fuel and motivation to get better. That never enough, as maybe some people use that as a means to improve, to get better. But why can't you get better from the place of self-compassion? As I think you'll probably even get better even quicker at what you're doing when you come from that. I'm not saying this as like a master of it, but I've definitely felt it in days where I feel more self-compassion for what I'm doing, or kind of self-talk to myself if I make a mistake. I actually bounce back quicker. And it's fascinating. We never taught that subject at school, like be more self-compassionate, be kinder. That will, to yourself, that will make you more resilient. So that was one of the major takeaways that I took from it, and just constantly trying to let go of that bad habit of that negative self-talk when you make a mistake, like you're never enough, you're never going to succeed, you're never going to be good at anything, you're ugly, whatever that is. And because that doesn't actually help you. Imagine if a friend came up to you and was like that. They wouldn't be your friend, and you wouldn't feel like you're getting better. But that's often just this scared part of our brain. Seth Godin calls it the lizard brain. My mate Joe calls it Astra the dog, which is interesting. Everyone has their own little like negative voice or self-talk or self-chatter. There's like, even in cartoons, you have like the devil on the one shoulder and then the angel on the other shoulder. So those are the major things that I took away from this. This is week 9 out of 12. So I missed last week, but I'm really enjoying this. So I think I'm going to keep it going, maybe not at the same pace. So if you want more content like this, or you enjoyed this or found it useful, please share it with a friend. You can like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I haven't done that. But that actually felt quite good saying that. Give myself some self-compassion for actually selling for once. So until next time, remember, uncover your truth.